Hey everybody, my name is ChuckGrody. We're going to be running the black sheep of the King's Quest games called King's Quest Mask of Eternity. This game wildly differs from all of the original King's Quest titles in that it's not really much of an adventure game. It's not very much of a um, it doesn't follow that. It's actually somewhat of a 3D Tomb Raider ripoff game that has um, action elements, adventure elements, admittedly, but RPG is splashed on there somewhere, somehow. There's EXP and stuff like that. Anyways, I'm going to be running the any percent category. It's a heavily glitched run, heavily glitched, um, as you'll see. A lot of sequence breaks, a lot of stuff like that. So, of course, without further ado, um, don't mind this, by the way. For the game to run properly, I kind of need to load a save file, and then go from there because it prevents some freezing. Yeah, just to preface this, the game may crash. I think I mentioned that at least sometime somewhere. It may crash, it may freeze, it may completely destabilize, and won't know what the heck is going on. But you know what? We'll get through it together, and we'll do that. So I'm going to count it off starting at 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So, anyways, we're starting on Kingdom of Daventry. Taking that because that's that and one other thing
What vile magic has
is
invaded
all the reference
Daventry?
to King's Quest you're gonna get. So to start off
What's
with the game,
this?
how it is, the Mask of Eternity is this mask that kind of keeps things in balance, and you got to go around and pick up all the different pieces that are scattered throughout the world. You start as this guy Connor. He's I don't even know if he's a knight or anything. I think he's just like some guy. Anyways, cares about plot. Does that matter in games? No, we're speedrunners. So the first thing we're gonna do is go over to this wall, glitch into it, or out of bounds into or
Dark
clip.
monster.
Pardon me.
'Twas my
And then
flesh
we're
nor
gonna
blood.
walk past that
What
thing,
now?
walk through that portal, and then clip back through this door. And what that did was essentially break the sequence of events for this area in that you're supposed to go in through the front of that. It's a little mausoleum. You're supposed to go through the front, see that thing, go into the next area, see that thing, it hits you, and you go back out. And from there, you pretty much get set on the beginning part of the quest. So since we've done that, that just saves some time for later on. And since we're done that, we're going to head over to the Castle Daventry, and of course we're going to clip back in through this wall. You may see how like I'm going in and out of first person. There's first person view in this game as well as it being third person. And how it works, the out of bounds works, is that you take a step, and right at the end of the step where he actually like makes contact with the ground,
This must be
you
Castle
alternate between
Daventry.
doing first person and
Now to
third
find the
person,
king.
and that inches him 1 or so pixels into the wall. And get used to seeing that. It's pretty much all you're gonna see. So anyways, we're in Castle Daventry, you know. He talks about a king, some guy, you know. That guy, everyone knows him and his yellow hat, you know. Who cares? They don't matter. So we go in here because we need some torch ashes. There's 3 items we need. One of them's torch ashes, another one's a candle from a church, and another one is a ring from a dead hero. And we're going to be getting all 3 of those. So, got to clip through this wall. This one's a little wonky right here, to say the least. Some of these walls have multi-parts, in that you'll clip into one, start clipping into it, hit another one, Connor will stop, then you'll have to clip further into the next one. Yeah, my visual cue for that, and a lot of the stuff in this game are visual cues. My visual cue for that is when I see outside, I know I'm good, and I'm just going to keep jumping in first person here. So there's a series of things that we need to get. One of them is in this house right here, and it's a rope and hook. It's essentially a grappling hook like Batman. Normally what you would do is do this in a sequence that we're going to be doing later, but because this is a real tight platforming section, I'm going to do it right now. And I messed it up, and this is why I'm doing it. I'm doing this now because the next time that I'm supposed to do it is timed, and I'd rather get that just like first try if I can. Okay. Essentially how this works is I'm clipping into the wall while I'm on top of that door. The door has about, as far as outside of the wall, about 1 pixel, and if you don't do it right, well, you're gonna fall off, as I did. So we got the rope and hook, which is cool. We talked to this guy who is a wizard. Immediately interrupt him and move towards this way. Run, jump, click on him. Connor will stop at the end of his jump. I save the game and then load it. And what this is going to do is it's going to initiate his conversation, stop it, reinitiate it from here. I'll use an item on him. Then suddenly the conversation is just going to continue completely from there. Walk over to this wall, or I can keep walking around while he's talking. Walk over to this wall, grab the candle from the wall, because it's one of the items, and you can just, grab stuff from the wall. I'm not entirely sure how that works. Completely. So
what was the tempest's nature?
So what we're going to do now is I have to wait right here until the wizard gets done talking. And when Connor starts talking again, what that does is I could have just jumped right there, but I'm going to wait till he says 5. What that does is that okay, that's good. Hopefully. What it is that the conversation will pause if I get out of range of the wizard talking. However, if I get out of range while Connor's talking, then the conversation will continue. I'm actually early on this right now, so there's pretty much no way that I can mess this up. So we're going to go over here to where the red hero is. Actually, I got shot. That doesn't matter. And so I got to clip into the wall. Go over to the sarcophagus. You have to bump it in a kind of a specific spot. Hopefully I get it without choking. There we go. And then grab this ring.
Forgive me, great knight. I will need your ring in order to achieve my quest. But where do I begin?
And this right here is exactly why I do all those sequence of events in that order. Because right here, I'm going to be teleported back over to where the wizard is once he gets done talking to me. And the whole idea, normally in any type of attempt, I would have done that whole sequence of clipping into the wall above the house, getting the rope and hook, as well as the candle and the ring, and then just gotten to the here.
My destiny is clear. I shall prevail.
And now we're just going to talk to him, and I'm going to spin in circles.
I have discovered the portal to the
While
dimension.
saying stuff.
But upon entering, I have encountered a foul beast of darkness.
I mean, Connor, I think, really just wants to interject, and he can't wait. Like, he's really impatient, so... Basically, he's just saying a bunch of stuff, and doesn't really matter.
I carry a sacred flame.
The ring of a dead
I carry a hero's ring.
and the ashes.
I bear ashes from a torch. I, Sir Wizard.
I think we got him.
Sir Wizard,
Yeah,
from a noble knight long
So anyways, give him the 3 titular items that we need. Or whatever,
Lo, I
It's
have
kind of
found
similar
a
to the
secret
first King's
flame
Quest,
from
though.
the
In the first one, you're supposed to get 3 treasures of Daventry.
I have
It's
found
pretty much the same thing, right?
Will this work?
Right.
Twill work.
You need to understand the plot. We don't need to know the plot.
All 3 items.
Come on.
Now, lad, behold, by all the spirits of the light, brighten the darkness of the night.
So anyways, he summons this ring right here, hits us, spins around us, stops on our finger. We get somewhat of an oval thing, whatever. on Connor's boxing glove hands.
Your
And we
help
get a
has
level
been
up.
immeasurable. May we meet again in better times.
So yeah, this game does have RPG elements, I guess. Sort of splashed on. I call it uh-oh. Oh, and the game crashed. It's cool. No need to panic, guys. No need to panic, everybody. Don't panic. Don't panic. We have saves. We have saves. I have saves for every area. So we're okay. We're good. Oh man, usually that doesn't happen. That never happened before. Anyways, what you guys are gonna miss is me killing or Connor killing the shadow beast guy. Who cares? So we're in the dimension of death. First thing we're gonna do is hop over this wall, go over to this guy, say, "Hey guy, you stink," and then walk away when he hits us, and walk over here. This is actually the largest area in the game, and we're gonna get it done really, really quickly. So I'm gonna approach this wall while kiting this skeleton over here. Let him hit me, do a backflip over that gate, and just ignore him and the rest of his friends over here. Say that we kind of wandered into the wrong neighborhood. That whole section right there, if you play this game casually, is actually quite long. There's like 4 things you have to like purify or something, and then talk to this guy named Lord Asriel. It doesn't matter. So the rest of this area is quite long as well. Like I said, it's huge. It's a giant maze, quite literally. But we're gonna skip it all right now. I'm gonna make a quick safety save right here because saving is important, especially in a game that crashes randomly. So we're gonna walk forward, get to a point, and then jump. So we essentially just skip the whole area because the whole point of this is to also nice. Yeah, save times are pretty slow in this game. The whole point of this area is to get across this river Styx over here to this portal that leads to a swamp. To do that, you need to give something to Charon, who's the Grim Reaper looking guy that ferries lost souls across the river Styx to the afterlife. We don't need him. We just walk into the water to a point where right before the triggered death is and just jump. Because as you're going to see a lot later on, and probably have already,
Where am I now?
A swamp?
Connor's horizontal leap is quite impressive. So we're in a swamp, and I'm just going to hop through the water. Greatest of ease. There's a tree over here with some cool shades on. We don't need to talk to him though. He's not important. I'm gonna go over here, get to this, jump, avoid all these guys, say, "Hey boys." Start eating these mushrooms that we got earlier. Hopefully not get hit by one of those things over there. That would stink. And use our rope and hook that we worked so hard to get to climb up this wall. You may see a pattern with a lot of these areas. It's pretty much just get this one item, then complete the area via glitches. It's not that boring. I mean, that sounds a lot more boring to say, but truth be told, it's actually pretty good. A lot of it's pretty entertaining. What you're gonna see right here is actually another nice sequence break. I'm gonna climb up here, walk forward. Actually, if I jumped right there, I'll fall into that hole. There's a door here with a hand on it. We're just gonna ignore it like all the other ones and just clip into it. You're supposed to kill this one guy that looks like the final boss. It's like one of his little henchmen. Instead, and the game froze again. Give it a second. It's not gonna crash. The music hasn't stopped. We're gonna go over here, grab this ladle, do this like stepping stone puzzle. Go over here, click on this.
It is shaped like a hand, but a hand much larger than my own.
So that pretty much I did it in reverse. What you're supposed to do is approach that, click on that, and then kind of get the hint that you need to get a hand to do that, which you get off of the guy that looks like the final boss. And can't catch me, I'm the gingerbread man. So Yeah, and that involves going to a whole different area, but we don't need that. We just need the golden ladle and glitches. So you may have noticed as well, I jumped off and when I fell off of those areas, I equipped and unequipped my weapon. What that does is actually negate fall damage because Connor can
Not
die
me,
pretty
it's
easily
you.
from fall damage. So now we're going to do a quick little interesting glitch I'll explain in a second. Alright, you may have seen that toad-looking lady. It kind of looks like a snake toad thing. She's the witch. She's the one who corrupted the
'Tis a
whole swamp.
wondrous magic.
Swamp's not supposed to be poisonous. It's supposed to be filled with nice, clean swamp water. And what you need to do is, it's all pouring out of that cauldron in there, so you need to purify it by using the gold ladle on it. But you're supposed to go in there and kill the witch, get inside of the place, and then use the gold ladle, then get out. If you walk over that corner right there, move the camera into the wall, hold this modifier key and a manual camera movement key, hit that once, move the camera just far enough in that you can use the golden ladle on the cauldron from outside. And I'm gonna stop talking because this this cutscene's funny.
I did, sire.
Shh, nobody tell him. I don't think either of his eyes can see her. She's just out of his range of sight. He's looking both ways. Also, I think Connor's kind of like his back's to the wall and he's just like talking to him like that.
I wish to express my supreme gratitude, Sir Champion.
I humbly accept
The
your
voice acting in
obedience,
this is so good.
But pray, can you give me counsel on...
Stay. We must quickly devise your exit. Now, Champion, behold the portal to the underground realm of the gnomes.
So we got to go to the underground realm of the gnomes.
Where are you going?
Lord Mudge creates this portal to it, which is a big whirlpool. I spawn in, clearly, I was just kind of talking to him through the wall. Connor's good at ventriloquism or something, I don't know. So we gotta go up here, some arrows are gonna shoot, jump past that. Something else I should know, and I'll do that as the game's loading, hopefully it doesn't crash, fingers crossed. Jump in here. You actually hear the sound effect of him dying, but since you hit the trigger, that overrides the death. You may have noticed when I climb up the wall towards that one door with the hand on it, that the monsters just kind of ignored Connor. When you're in a cutscene like this, Connor's actor kind of disappears, and nothing can target him. You'll see that more. It's quite handy.
This must be the realm of the gnomes.
And the realm of the gnomes is 3D platformer hell. Like, this place is pretty bad. So you're gonna see me being a little cautious here, because yeah. So the first thing that we do is we jump out of the we clip into a wall, clip outside of it, and give me a second. I actually need to, this place is so dark, I actually need to close my window, or close my blinds in my room to see it. We clip through a wall and we jump out, and now we're on top of the realm of the gnomes. And essentially, I just need to follow a path atop it to be able to get over to a certain area that I need to clip into. It's the same sort of thing, you know, sequence break. I just get the item that's necessary and we go from there. So now we got to clip into this wall, and I don't need to clip all the way in. You're kind of hearing something in there. Yeah, it's not very nice, so we're going to avoid it. And ooh, that scared me. I usually don't go that far over. So there's these sconces. I'm essentially walking, I should back up. I'm walking inside of the wall right there, like literally inside of the clip of the wall, and just kind of following it like a rail.
With that lodestone and hovering crystal serve.
So, but those sconces actually have collision, so I need to avoid them. I go into the first person because it's easier to kind of move Connor. Essentially, I need to do what's the hardest thing in the game, which is to move Connor forward in a straight line. And get past this thing. There's a dragon over here. I don't think you can see it, but it's there. It's a black dragon, I think. Something like that. Okay. Let me get him just right. Okay, we're cool. Uh-oh. Alright. Uh-oh, I'm messing up my oh, I think I got it actually. Alright, we're good. Whew. Okay, that's better than I was. Easy clap. Kappa.
It's too dark. I cannot see.
What I was gonna say is that I kind of watched the mini map in the bottom right hand corner because there's 2 walls I need to clip through to get through there, and I watched for the arrow that's Connor to turn 90 degrees to the right or to the left, one of those two, so that it's facing parallel to the wall. And then when I know I've clipped through, because I see him going through it, oh Jesus. I won through and then I go, that's just how I get through there. And that skips so much of this area. So anyways, go past there, there's some manta rays shooting lightning out of their tails. And there's some Indiana Jones style giant boulders. They're pretty easy to avoid. There's this rock guy shooting stuff at it. I kill him. You could get away from them. You could just avoid him, but he might hit you with one of his projectiles where you're getting past the Indy boulders and you'll get stuck, pretty much stun locked to death. So we talked to this guy. He says something about how now, and then we give him what looks like a black dragon turd. He says some stuff and we walk away.
I must explain.
And go past the boulders again. And here comes a Monka-S area. Aside from these things, probably gonna try to kill me, because, you know what? Just punch his stupid face in. Come here. Yeah, take that. I'm Connor McLeod. Something like that. Here's a kind of a sketchy jump. I need to jump through here onto a platform that's over here, and I need to do it just right. Just like that. Okay, cool. You may see me save there and save right here. This is a big boy jump right here. It's as close to a leap of faith as it's going to be. So if I need to attempt this a few times, don't blame me. And I don't think I got that. Oh, I did. Okay, cool. Woo. Okay, first try. Kappa, marathon luck. So we're in. We're good. Yeah, that's a scary jump. It's taken me a while to kind of get a somewhat consistent setup for it, and that's about as close to one as I have. So click that, does some stuff. There's a couple mammies over here. We don't like mammies, and they go down pretty easily, so 2 shot them each with our fists of fury. And yeah, so do another damage cancel thing right here. And we're gonna teleport using our magic map for the first time. You're actually supposed to be using the magic map to kind of go through most places.
I can magically transport from here.
We don't need to. I'm gonna save because the game can crash here. I've had it happen a couple of times. Okay, we're good. And that's the thing that I say a lot. It can crash. It's actually took me quite a long time, and the help of this one dude named Jim Lau, who joined my stream one time, who's a big fan of this game, to figure out a way to keep this game from crashing so that we could play it or do a speedrun in a single segment, because everything else, all the other runs to this point were not single segment, or were segmented. Am I still good? Am I still live? I was watching the stream and it gave me a network error for some reason. Just making sure. Anyways, as far as the barren, we're in the barren region right now. It's the typical hot area, lava and stuff. We just kind of need to follow this over to this dwarf fortress where we're gonna get our item and then move onward. All right, we're good. Sweet. Thanks, guys. The lava right there is very sensitive, and by that I mean if I get way too close to it, I am oofed. So I'm gonna stand right here. In fact, I think I should actually stand back here just specifically. Oh no. Alright. This guy's gonna kill his buddy and then start shooting arrows at me. And then what I'm gonna do is grab his buddy's arrow and say, man, that was really mean of you. You deserve to die. So we're gonna start shooting him with his buddy's bow. This game's now a cover shooter, by the way. And now we're good. So I'm gonna do a somewhat newer strat. Whoops, if I can backflip properly, Kappa. I'm gonna jump, backflip onto this lock. I'm gonna clip into the wall. I know I clipped in because I see Connor's camera move. Move back a step or so and do a backflip. What that does is backflip me up on top of the building. How that works is that there's a cliff behind that that's on a slope, and that slope is, when you backflip onto it, you're kind of backflipping out while in the clip, in the wall, and then you just backflip up on top of it till you get some kind of collision. And that's why I saved. There's one specific little tile right there that I need to land on, and I knew I was going to miss it because I'm talking. There we go. Kappa, Kappa, Kappa. So anyways, clip in through this wall, and now we're over here. There's some lady imprisoned over there. You didn't see her. She's not important. We don't need her. Anyways, you know how I said there's multiple like parts of a wall? This is like the perfect example of it. You're gonna see Connor's like kind of stop a few times. Like his arm starts to go through. There's this mean dwarf guy here with a big hammer. We don't want to mess with him. We want to do this PlayStation button puzzle right here. And there's a pipe cap that we need, or pipe valve. And there's another one in here. You're supposed to open this, but if you just do it just right,
She's locked.
you can just grab it. Anyways, here's a lady. She's cool. Hi, lady. Bye, lady. We don't need you. We're not a king yet. We're not a prince yet. You know what? We're not a prince at all. We don't need to save a damsel in distress. She can figure that out for herself. We're a real hero. We need to get pointless mask pieces so we can punch evil wizards in the face.
A piece of the mask.
The mask belongs to Lucrito, underling. Give it to me.
To the contest, then.
Anyways, that's one of the guys I mentioned earlier. It looks like the final boss, one of his henchmen. This is the first time we're seeing one. We're supposed to. I think the first time you're actually supposed to see it is the swamp, possibly in the other place. It doesn't matter. That's one of them. So anyways, gonna clip in through here. I'm gonna pull out my bow. This is marathon safety strats. I'm just gonna kill this guy right here. There's another buddy over there that he has that pretty mean as well, but we're gonna kind of ignore him. So we need to put a cap right here. Walk over onto this. Hit F1. This is for safety as well. This is a strat you're gonna see later as well. Whoops. If you bring up that little help tooltip thing, you can actually still interact with stuff, and it'll complete once you take the tooltip thing off. So I can kind of pause time essentially and just do my stuff. So
This is a frigid land, sure.
that's the end of the barren region, and here's the frozen reaches. And the first thing we're going to do is jump off this cliff. And I'm going to make another quick save because this can be a little tricky. So I got to walk off, equip my bow, and unequip it. And the reason why we're using the bow is because it has a longer unsheathing animation, which actually helps with completing that damage cancel. So normally what you're supposed to do here is like do this stuff for that woman that was being impelled prison, and some bird guys and some other stuff. Who cares? You're supposed to ride this big, beautiful crystal dragon across the big lake right there. But turns out you can just, if you have enough healing items, you can just tank the damage and go. There's a couple trigger death areas in there, like insta kills. But if you know where they are, they're easily avoided. In fact, there's a better strat for that, but I didn't want to try to attempt it because you have to jump over the the insta-kill tiles. So here's some guys over here. They're like Yeti people. I need to kind of inch forward till I'm like just in range to snipe the one on the right. We're gonna leave the one on the left alive for a really dramatic scene that you'll see in a moment. Uh-oh. 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 I need a bob and weave through here. Hey, deke him. Alright, we're good. We're good. Monka. So we're gonna go over here, throw the Batman hook up there, climb the wall. Hope I didn't forget the hammer. Talk about the worst item in the game. The coolest. The worst weapon in the game. It is. Oof. Bad. So we're gonna go through here. There's Birdman. Go say hi to Birdman. There's Birdman. We'll be saving him in a moment, but we're not gonna talk to him because that takes a while. So anyways, we leave the guy over here alive so that Connor can do this amazing takedown. Check this out. He goes all Steven Seagal on him too. Oof. Got him. And what he does is drop some healing items, which is really nice, but more importantly, a crossbow and a key. So we need to use that key. Remember the Birdman? Yeah, we're going to go save him. So how we do that is that we clip into this wall. There we are. And there's an invisible wall right here. And what I'm going to do is, okay, I need to turn the camera around. Make sure I'm completely up against the wall. Turn the camera this way. Kind of move like that. Do a backflip. Stop it right there. Hold that modifier key that I did the ladle with earlier. Take this key. Here's the lock. Watch. And use it through the wall. And free Birdman.
Thank you.
And teleport up here.
Now I must return to my flock and bring them to order.
Aye, Your Majesty.
The normal conversation with that guy is so long. You also may have noticed I didn't jump right over this grating. There's a reason for it. If you go over it first, you see this conversation between the final boss and this guy named Thork, and it takes a while, so I outright avoid it. But right now, when I come back over it, I go over that. This guy tries to take me down. He dies. And then we go past Thork right here, who's trying to bum rush me because he wants to end the marathon early. And we just kind of avoid him, grab that piece of ice, and go outside. So what we're going to do is take that piece of ice, do that, use our flame bow to melt it. See? Puzzles. Look. And then we need to freeze it because it fills the hole. We need to open a door and we need a lever to do it. So, anyways, Thork is like inching towards us because he's got time, you know, he's not really motivated either. He's also not very bright. So, do that, unequip that, grab this. Oops, wrong button. Wrong button, sorry. Kappa. Get past Thork, he's gonna try to kill us. He's not very good at his job. Take that new lever, stick it in here, hope it doesn't break.
Aye, it worked. I hope to not break.
It did. Darn. Anyways, that doesn't matter. We walk over here, and yeah, now we're away from Thork. By the way, Thork can't get in here. He's too tall, as you may have just seen. He also doesn't know where we are. I think he's like, whatever. So here's a frozen sort of snow version of one of those final boss, Lucrito. He's the final boss, by the way. Henchmen. And we just dramatically, twice, mind you, punched him and make him break into pieces. And doing another Zelda box opening sequence. Grab another mask piece. Uh-oh. We came back together. Oh shoot, what are we gonna do now? I don't think we're strong enough to kill him.
The mask belongs to my master. It will not aid you.
It will not aid you either.
By the way, he can't... Because of the way I did the sequence of events, those guys don't even approach you. So we just clip out of the wall and... yeah. Later, guys. You guys do you. I'm gonna go, save the world. So now we're pretty much done with this area. We just need to get to the final, like where the exit is. Got our item. We're out. Period. There's these Yetis here. Just kind of ignore them. They're kind of like Connor in that they got really wonky animations. Like they almost have Gumby arms, if you know what Gumby is. Any boomers out there? We just avoid them. They're pretty easy to avoid. They pretty much look like, I don't know. They look really cheesy. Anyways, we go over here. There's a wall. And if you have a keen eye, you'll see that there's like a Hydra up there. We're not going to do anything with that. We don't need to. Uh-oh. We're just gonna... Can you guess it? Can you guess it? Clip through the wall. There you go. Then we're gonna do it again. And again, and again, and again. There we go. So now we're in this place called Paradise Lost. Don't blink because it's going to be done in a moment. Marathon luck would have it that I would get the soft lock that occurs here, which can happen, where the camera literally gets stuck on one of these Stonehenge-like monuments. But fortunately we didn't get it. So this guy that looks like the final boss, but is all ghostly and nice, pops up, tells us some stuff. So Rumble of Sound sounds cool, let's go there. So now we get to see a cutscene where Connor is a silhouette, turns into one of those like firecracker ice cream popsicle things, and crash lands in a very dramatic manner into a Mayan temple. I mean, sure. Okay. Here we are. Well, he's just scratching his butt. Don't worry about him. He doesn't know we're there. You know, for as much smack I can talk this game, the animations are quite good. Like, this stuff is really well animated for the time. By the way, the cursor's on the screen. I can do actions, but if I do, the game will crash. Big surprise, eh? Anyways.
Am I really here in the realm of the sun?
Realm of the Sun is a big gauntlet of just avoiding enemies. And I saved it there for a good reason. Kappa, kappa, kappa. Backflips. And that's why. I kind of have to do this perfectly, and there's still RNG. Those Medusas that look like snakes.
Am I really here in the realm of the sun?
They're very scary. So, yeah. Don't mind this. This is why I grabbed so many healing items. There is a way to avoid them entirely. I've never quite figured it out. This one run that let us sit on the leaderboard for a very, very long time had that in it, but unfortunately the community kind of deduced that that was a spliced run. So
I know not the answer. I
it's
shall seek it.
It's more of a proof of concept sort of thing. So we're supposed to get items in each one of these areas and then go to the door and open it up. You get like a tome, a tablet that gets inscribed with something. You tell them the answer to the riddle, and that's that. We don't do that. We don't get the item. We just clip through. Fun fact about that, these doors, and I'll tell you as I do this. You may see the game is being played in a sort of direct 3D, in that it looks like actual 3D and not like Sega Saturn graphics.
I shall seek the answer.
You could play this game in software rendering, but you wouldn't be able to beat the game or beat the speed run. You wouldn't be able to do the speed run because you wouldn't be able to clip through these doors. Yeah, that took me a long time to figure out. And I should say nobody in the community initially really gave me any pointers. I kind of figured it all out on my own just by watching different videos and doing stuff like that. Yeah, that that took a while. That's some like really hard thing to deduce. Anyways, it's as simple as that. It's pretty much the same thing here. You may notice this place is pretty peaceful. In the previous area, you're supposed to kill
I know not
what's
how.
spawning all
Yet.
of Lucreto's like clones, essentially. I'm gonna reorient the camera for this. You're also supposed to have gotten a sword and some armor. You skipped that because although this is an RPG, you really don't need to get any items aside from like the items you need to just progress forward or some ranged weapons. Anyways, and can anyone guess what we're gonna do here? If you say clip through the door, you're wrong. We're gonna do a backflip over the top. So I'm gonna go into first person. This makes it a little bit easier. So we're in the final chamber where we place the mask, and you may also notice, like I mentioned, you're supposed to have armor here, so Connor's gonna spawn a helmet randomly. There's the final boss. So anyways, you're gonna notice something here. This battle's not like really hard. Because I don't have any armor and any gear and any of that, and the reason why I can actually beat the game like this is because we break the sequence of how, just like the rest of the game, we break the sequence of how we enter the final chamber. There's supposed to be fire surrounding this area, both areas, like down this way and down that way, and it's insta-kill. It's just like a big insta-kill wall, and you're supposed to face the Credo head on. Because we did that and initiated this, it doesn't spawn that, therefore you can literally just go around him. He's stuck in place just like his clones. I think they follow the same AI script or something. And you just punch him to death. Literally. Just punch him to death. You know, no big deal. Just knock him out. Stay out of range of him and punch him to death. He stands there with his matchstick weapon. And yeah. So there's 4 phases to him, and we'll see the 4th phase in a moment. It's pretty much this 3 times, and then there's one more thing. Aura, 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 aura. Knock him out. Keep tickling his head. So anyways, right here you're going to see something special. Place this one, he gets ready, pulls a sword out of nowhere. He goes, huh, okay, I should have put that in. Put that back. Is this game hard playing normal? Not really. Plays like a normal game. It's harder to get it working on your computer than it is to actually play through. This game was extremely unstable when it came out, and it hasn't aged any better.
Thou wilt not get away with
Trash. Alright, final boss. Here we go. Final phase. Essentially, what I have to do is knock him into the portal. And how that's done is like that. And that's time, by the way, when she gets knocked into the portal. To explain what just happened, the reason why I can do that is because I abuse iframes. Normally what'll happen is that he'll one-shot Connor and then you'll just be dead. And before I figured out how to do that iframe by stepping back, I would sit there for like 10 minutes trying to beat him because I just didn't know what to do. Aside from that, it's pretty easy once I did that. I was like, man, I knew eventually I'd come to it. But yeah, anyways, go watch the final sequence. It's pretty quick. By the way, the guy on the right, that's supposed to be Graham, King Graham, the one, you know, the main character of King's Quest. Yeah, he gets about 2 seconds worth of showtime in the game, aside from the opening. Now the world's all gone back to normal, thanks to Connor. And a bunch of guys that do all the same animation pop up. Connor raises his sword, and that's it. That's King's Quest Mask of Eternity. Designed and written by Roberta Williams. That's a lie. Because she actually dropped out before this game ever even started production, I believe. Sup, RTRJ? You should improve your run? Yeah, man. Hop on it. Pretty fun. So, anyways, that's the game. And so thanks questing for glory team for having me on and letting me showcase this run. First time aside from one other event that this game has ever been shown. And yeah, thanks for that, and enjoy the rest of the marathon. Enjoy the next